reversal of Roe v. Wade. Okay, this is before the official reversal happened. After that leak, she decides to campaign for a right-wing Democrat who, for the most part, voted along with Donald Trump when he was in power, and that's Henry Cuellar.
Yeah. When
she could have endorsed his progressive primary challenger, Jessica Cisneros. And who knows?
Again, why would she do that, Anna? Why would she do that? Because they don't really care about the people. She's going to back establishment. The parties are controlled. That's why the parties are controlled by Wall Street. They are going to back the establishment candidates. They are not going to back these candidates that are progressives that are trying to change the very system that is in place that they all seem to love. They're not going to back them. You know, Shama Sawan said this last night when she was on, and she had a good point. You're asking people to run into the Democratic Party, to run through the Democratic Party. And you're asking those people to break up the system that they have now joined and expect not to be targeted, not to be harassed, not to be bullied, not to be threatened, and for them to think that the other Democrats there with them are going to help them. No, they're going to do everything that they can to get rid of them. It is a fool's errand. She's right. Now she say all this, Anna's going to say all this, but she's still telling you, but vote for them. But vote for the Democrats.
Maybe that endorsement would have made all the difference because that was a close race.
It was.
But make no mistake, we know what the Republican Party is about. And sometimes people get mad because they feel like I'm a little too harsh toward Democrats. I should focus more of my energy toward Republicans. Listen.
That is definitely a Jimmy Dore talking point. She got that from Jimmy Dore. Some people say I'm too hard on the Democrats and I should focus more on the Republicans. Bullshit. Nobody's saying that to her. Jimmy on a beat, boy.
Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. 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 DOOMER, please, your dusty mood don't vibe with me. You are old and so therefore I must say 10 for dinosaur. Hey. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer.
Jimmy
Okie boomer.
Oh my God, I love it.
Okie dokie, boomer.
I love it when Savvy says bullshit. She needs it.
Oh my gosh. Okie dokie, Anna. Nobody is saying that shit to Anna. Good
No.
Call out, Sab.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to open with our Savvy Says segment because she nailed it again. Savvy, you give us real hope. You give us real hope, Savvy. So keep it up. How you doing tonight, Chanda? It's been a long time no see.
Yeah, no, today has been another Monday. I got to say, it felt like Monday all day. Hence how, I'm looking a little rough today, but I'm here.
I feel like something wadded up and thrown in the garbage today. I'm just like, toast,
well,
man.
We had a hot snap the last few days, and today is got overcast and cloudy and cooled down. And you know how when you get that cool down, It's kind of like, oh, now I'm tired and all the stuff I couldn't do in the heat, I need to get done. People are dealing with that across the country. We barely get it up here in the Northwest. So I do not have any room to cry or bitch. And yes, Jilly, Farron has been breaking some amazing stories tonight. Fair and Balanced. If you're not watching her, she's really doing some good work.
Yeah, she's got all that energy too. I need a transfusion.
I know. Can she give
her
me some of that?
and Fee and Sabby, I need some transfusion. This old bloomer ass of mine is really just like Anyway, so
Yeah, so we heard. So
yeah,
we
oh
heard.
yeah, I know you heard. I fell asleep
I heard.
yesterday on Convo's Foss's. Oz, wake up, Oz. Fee goes, we're still mad at you, Oz. For
I'm in the
falling
chat
asleep."
going, hey, don't break my engineer. I told you not to break my engineer.
Shit. But I'm tired. We're weather wimps of the Pacific Northwest
We are
because
weather
we don't get those hot snaps. However, last year at this time we had the heat dome, and that was
hot
pretty
last
brutal.
year, for
That,
sure.
that was
Yeah.
pretty brutal. I want to shout out the chat. Jilly Love. Jilly, what's going on? Serious first one in tonight. Trish. Hi, Trish. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Gamer.
Hi,
Oh, my
Shelly. Hi,
God.
Gamer.
We got
Hi, Gamer.
everybody's in here tonight. Steve
Pretty Mama
Cutler
Bear.
live.
Of course.
What's going
Pretty
on,
Mama.
Steve? Great song
Trish.
Saturday night.
Trish.
President Jesus. What's going on?
Lucky. Oh,
Lucky.
Farron just sent everybody over from her channel.
Oh.
Thank you. If you're just joining us, welcome
Farron
to Beauty and the
Raid.
Boomer. Farron Raid.
Sabinity. Hi, Hi, Cupcake. I love the name Cupcake. Shawnee Wyatt. Pretty Mama Bear. Pretty Mama Bear. No relation,
Steve
I hope. Iris. What's up, Iris? Lay Ford, Albert DeLuna. God, look at all these new
Yeah,
names
look at them
over here.
pouring in. So
Yeah.
we're an elite little club, and welcome. You
Toy
are
Box
definitely
Brain.
welcome.
Toy Box Brain.
That's a good name.
Yeah, I
That's a good
think
name.
we should nickname pasta that Toy Box Brain.
Let's call it that.
Yeah.
We got a few hanging out on the Rockfin. Hey, Rockfin, that's where the truth lives, over on Rockfin. If you're not on Rockfin, ROFIN, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And get yourself a free account. And there's a lot of people over there speaking a lot of truth. So yeah, Rockfin.
We're loving
Let's
it.
see. We got Jim over there. Hey,
Jim.
Jim. Tom. And Amaris. Hi, Anna. Long time. Fred, how you feeling, Fred? Hope you're weathering it okay.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Pretty Pennies over here. Susie, Shayla. I like that, Shayla. I've always
Shayla.
liked that name. That's a great name. Crone of Anarchy, one of our producers,
Hey, Crone.
is in
Yes,
there.
one of our
Crone.
associate
Peace, Dove.
producers.
Good to see you, Peace. Ronnie Weaver, another cool. Reba. Becca C, good to see ya.
Hey, Becca.
Look at that. What's this? MS Dinga Dinga. Can I say that? Fair and correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can say that.
Melinda. Hello,
Hey, Chris
Melinda.
Hansen.
Chris Hansen is in the house. Mary, give a like. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary. Good to see everybody over there.
Well,
Thank
so
you.
if you're new here, we do kind of a talk soup, independent political look at the week's news.
Yeah.
And we bring a lot of satire, and we bring a lot of memes and our opinions. So
We try.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Our opinions and fair use.
Fair use, yeah. And talk soup, not to be confused with talk cesspool. Well, sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes we get talk cesspool, maybe on
Well,
Saturday night.
I don't even really describe us as that. A few other people have been saying that lately, and I go, well, okay, yeah, we are kind of like that. I don't know, but we're not like other shows. You
Yeah,
know, we're
just-
not trying to be journalists. We're not trying to
Yeah.
be commentators. We're
Yeah.
just a boomer and a Gen Xer in our mobile homes talking about the world.
Yeah, but I love my mobile home. It's 1975. It's vintage, so it's
Mine's
special.
1974,
Yeah,
so
yeah, well,
it is very vintage.
And then we have our Patreon, and Chanda was
Patreon.
just telling me that they changed the dashboard in the Patreon. So
they did. So yeah, you can get to our link tree. You can scan the QR code behind me, or you join our Patreon, which is Beauty and the Boomer. And yeah, there's different levels to our Patreon, and you could be a big boomer, which big boomers get your own associate producer card in our credit roll at the end of the show. So at the end of the show, we play a musical out. We go over everything, our slides that we talked about, and we have a lot of fun with our closers. I
yeah,
think,
it's kind of an artsy fartsy thing anymore. And
it is.
We pre-produce the outgo on Beauty and the Boomer. They come out pretty good, and I cowboy these during the week because I don't have
Yeah.
time.
No, we're so busy.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
busy.
it's busy. Summer began the 21st, so this is going to be our summer night series. I need to change that graphic so I can get
Yeah,
in
you do.
tune with everything. And we better kick it off tonight because we got a full house, and you brought this one right out of the gate.
Democrats, after refusing to codify Roe versus Wade, I'm going to create a donation email that is so urgent And boy, did they, man. Our inbox is filled up
Oh my
immediately.
God in heaven. It's like, give me $15 so we can save Roe versus Wade and not codify it again in 50 years.
I love these memes on here, though. This is the Democratic Party. Please give us money so we can warn you about what will happen when we don't do anything after you give us money.
Yeah, that's exactly
And then,
right.
of course, how my dog sees itself when somebody rings the doorbell.
Oh, no shit. That's exact. My two girls, they're just like, it's somebody at the door, somebody at the door, somebody at the door. And in dog language, just. So, they just,
Well, and you got to add the click, click, click of the toenails. As
Oh
they
my
run back and
God!
forth.
Yeah, those laminated floors are really loud. Oh my gosh! Look at everybody in here tonight. First out of the gate, this is fresh meat from United Spot, right?
Total fresh meat. So yeah, did you see that there was a surprise January 6th hearing today?
Yes,
It was
I
like,
did.
it wasn't scheduled. It was just like all of a sudden when I go into YouTube, it's everywhere. Like, notify me when this starts. And I just had to laugh because you know what else happened today that we're going to talk about later?
What?
Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced. It was almost like they were trying to divert attention to something else, but they don't do that, right?
No, never do that. Never distract or throw anything up there. So we got our first United Spot tonight. I haven't seen this yet, but I like the cover. Let's check it out.
Nancy got it, bro.
choice. Judge Pelosi, are the rumors about Donald Trump true? Unfortunately, yes.
We have a whistleblower.
You have a whistleblower?
Yes, that is correct.
Donald Trump is guilty!
We got him.
We got him.
We got him.
It's all over.
over.
So what happened?
Well, the
Excuse me, Adam. I'll answer this.
Sorry.
So, we've been in contact with the whistleblower hero, who has come forward and told us word for word what happens on the darkest day in American history.
Roe versus Wade?
No, the other darkest day in history.
Well, what happened? Trump is guilty! That's what
Liz,
happened!
shut up!
Sorry.
So, we've been told by an expert witness that Donald Trump followed 2 Secret Service agents to the nearby subway.
He's a criminal!
Donald Trump then grabbed the 2 officers by their throats and did a racist karate kick while screaming, Wuhan!
Racist!
And then he threw them on the ground.
Then what happened?
He poured bleach on them and made them sing the national anthem.
It's true!
Trump then danced while they sang. And then he said,
Trump is guilty! What did he say?
I can't even say it.
He said, get out of here. This is MAGA country.
Is there any video of this? Well, how are we supposed to believe that any of this is true if there's no video?
Because I said it's true.
Oh shit! This is MAGA country. This is MAGA country.
They slay it sometimes, and that was one of them. Adam Schiff's freaking voice is hilarious.
Oh my God, the dude is just I can't. I just can't.
I know.
I just can't.
Cracks me up.
I just can't. Gamers having busted a rib over there.
United Spot is hilarious. I agree.
Yeah. They get it right, and most of the time they're not so racist. Once in a while they get pretty bad, but got to take the bad with the good sometimes. What do you got here? What more Pelosi? You're gonna give me.
Well, I've got a bunch of Pelosi because she
shit.
can't seem to shut up or not be rude or, push the little kids this week. I know we talked about that last night. And, Nancy Pelosi recommends avoiding pain at the pump by becoming a millionaire through insider trading. So
That's a good way to go, Nancy. Good for you. That's a smart move. So I hear Paul had a little bit of a problem. He didn't tip the cop to get out of the bus the other day.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that on the next slide. I brought a little update about Paul Pelosi and his DUI charges.
So what's this one about?
Oh, this is just one of the times Nancy decided to spread her wisdom on us this week.
All right, let's check it out.
How about those justices coming before the senators and saying that they respect it?
How dare you!
Sorry to cite the precedent of the court, that they respected the right of privacy in the Constitution of the United States.
How dare you?
Did you hear that? Were they not telling
love
the
the
truth
music.
then?
Oh my god! Hey, at least I didn't have to hear her recite that poem again. That's killing me.
Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Or watch her shove a kid again, right?
Oh yeah, she's gonna shove the kid, shove her through the wall. I mean, geez.
She says, "I was just trying to put her in the right place for the picture. That's all."
Is that how you do that?
Yeah, that's how you do it.
All right, just yeah, that's. God, I'm going to be dreaming
Evil
about
woman.
Pelosi's. What the hell? You brought more Pelosi? How much Pelosi?
Well,
we got
okay.
tonight?
So remember last week we talked about this. Of course, Paul got his DUI a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And then we were like, "Where's the mugshot? We should see the mugshot." So Freedom of Information Acts were filed, and finally, in the very last minute, they were like, "Okay, fine, we'll release it since you guys won't shut up about it. Here it is." So then we were told that there was no charges were going to be pressed, that they, were just kind of dropping it, letting it go. And then another time we were outraged and, pushed back. So then they were like, okay, fine, we're going to charge him, but we're not going to release much about the police report. So you're not going to know how much somebody was injured, who was injured, how much property damage there is. Like, we can't have any of the details. So we're waiting on the details, but here's a little update.
All right. Take it away, Paul.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is facing a family scandal. Her husband Paul Pelosi has officially been charged with a DUI with injury by the Napa County District Attorney's Office. The county press release states that Mr. Pelosi will be charged with a misdemeanor and that the punishment for driving under the influence in California is up to 5 years probation, a minimum of 5 days in jail, installation of an ignition interlock device, fines and fees, and completion of a court-ordered drink driving class and other terms as appropriate. This comes after he was involved in a crash on May 28, with the District Attorney's Office confirming he had a blood alcohol content level of 0.82%. He was pulled over before midnight on that Saturday night in Napa Valley, where he was later arrested for drink driving. Mr. Pelosi was returning to his and Nancy's vineyard from a dinner party when a man driving a Jeep crashed into his Porsche. The 82-year-old was booked into jail at around 4 a.m. on Sunday and was later released around 7:26 a.m. His bail had been set to $5,000. At the time, a spokesperson for Nancy Pelosi released a brief statement after the incident, confirming she wouldn't be commenting on the private matter that occurred while she was on the East Coast. Over a week ago, his mugshot was revealed despite authorities in California originally refusing to release it, even though multiple media outlets had requested to see it. Any description of property damage or injuries had also been withheld because authorities believed releasing those details could have jeopardised the investigation. Some social media users reacted to the news. One person wrote, "Finally, Paul Pelosi charged with a DUI, a misdemeanor, not a felony, but the people kept the pressure on and they finally made a charge. People are sick of 2 tiers of justice."
What do you think about those 2 tiers of justice?
Right. And well, and that's, I do believe that it was public pressure. I think if they could have swept this under the rug and made it go away, especially with the power that she holds in California. But there's just too much of a public outcry. So he'll maybe do,
You're exactly right. You know what happened though? What happened was there was so much public pressure, the powers that be had to let it out. But that being said, what they did was they're blaming it on everybody for misinformation about them not charging him with DUI. And and these are major news organizations coming after the independent media. The problem is with what they're doing is if they didn't want the so-called misinformation coming out, they would have come out themselves, the MSNBSs, the CNNs, and actually reported on the facts. But the fact was that they were thinking about how do we get Speaker Pelosi's husband out of this hot water. That's what they were doing, and that's the truth.
And let me tell you, they manipulated it too, because there is rumors that misinformation that was out there that they sat on him for a very, very long time trying to sober him up. And I think because 0.08 is the legal limit in California. So he's 0.082. A good attorney's going to be able to squash that down and plea bargain it out and probably get it thrown out. I mean, because you're right on the border.
It wasn't that. It was right within the parameters. No, it wasn't,
Right.
Yeah.
But blowing a different level means different penalties. So if most states, especially the blue states, they have tiers. So if you blow anything over a 1, you're going to have different consequences than if you blew a .08. So they gave him the very lowest. It's, minimal. He'll do probation probably.
Listen,
and have to go to a driving class, which he'll somehow manage to get himself out of.
If I was 82 driving my Porsche, was it?
Right.
How do you do that?
Why doesn't he have a driver?
If I get .8082 when I'm 82, I'm going to be under the porch with the dogs taking a nap. I'm not going to be out cruising around in a Porsche.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh shit. I mean,
blood, alcohol runs through the elite's veins. That's what they live on, that adrenochrome. So,
yeah, adrenochrome. What's the interaction with adrenochrome? You
adrenochrome and alcohol.
Yeah, I when I saw his mugshot, I thought it was a new commercial for Grecian Formula 16, but I guess I was wrong.
He's looking pretty good for his age.
Yeah, you're pretty good, Paul. It's all those mistresses. I had to throw this in here. Elon Musk is the Thomas Edison of our generation, and I mean that as a slur. And this guy right here, I seem to get the feeling you're really not in the mood. Boy, I've been there, done that. I think so. I just wanted to throw that in. One of the people I follow, that's an old timey one too. What is this? What do we have?
Boomer.
What do you got? 7 TikTok.
Okay, so you know what? We can dance to save Roe v. Wade. Apparently there's TikTok dances that you can do. The Supreme Court decision is a draft. There's still time to save Roe v. Wade. Yeah, you could TikTok your way into saving it.
Well, I've been seeing people push speakers that are pro-birth off the stage, priests and stuff today. So
we've seen some pretty violent shit this last week.
Yeah, we're going to get into that violent shit, and it's usually pointed at the people that are pro Roe versus Wade keeping it. So you've got one here. Can you read this one?
I believe in things like universal health care and a living wage. Me too. That's why I voted for Biden. Bye. But how many of us had this conversation with fucking leftists in the last fucking few years? Like, what do you mean? You're not helping anybody by voting for Biden. He's never going to give you any of those things. Oh, we can push him left, right?
Well, it's
what they said.
Well, they're running into these walls with bodily autonomy now with Roe versus Wade and everything else. It's the hypocrisy is to your shoulders these days on stuff, and there's some good arguments about that out there. Which is talk about hypocrisy. I brought Rising from today, and I had to bring this because it was a good conversation. But I'm just gonna pull the lever on this first one. But the second one is really the one I want to focus on the most. But I have to run this so you can get some context.
Okay. Let this dig by AOC go, so she tweeted this back. How about you explain slowly why you won't support a pardon for Julian Assange and Edward Snowden? Then continue to explain why you are a shill for the MIC funding war in Ukraine, or are you too busy organizing baby-killing riots? Now, if it weren't for that last line about organizing baby-killing riots, I would have sworn a progressive wrote that tweet. But this came from a Republican. A Republican is calling for pardons for Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. A Republican is calling out the military-industrial complex, and it was only Republicans, 57 of them, who voted no to sending billions to Ukraine. What's going on here? Republicans are increasingly showcasing an anti-establishment flair, and it's why their party is gaining in popularity. It's becoming more and more the party of the working class. Now, it's definitely not there yet, but the metamorphosis seems to be happening. Now, of course, you could claim that they don't mean it, it's just a show for votes, but then you'd have to say the same thing about progressives. After all, these were the principles anti-establishment progressives like AOC claimed to uphold. They said they'd go to Washington, challenge the establishment, and make change. Yet all they did was fall in line, and there's a voting record to prove it. When you compare AOC's voting record to Nancy Pelosi's, she only disagrees with the mother hen 4% of the time. Now compare that to Marjorie Taylor Greene, disagreeing 34% of the time with establishment Republican old guard Liz Cheney. So Brianna, Robbie, I'm going to ask you guys, what is happening here with this? Brianna, I'm particularly interested in your take on this. That last tweet about Edward Snowden and Julian Assange directed at AOC and the military-industrial complex, I mean, what? That was a Republican. That's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Hold that thought.
Okay, I'll hold that thought.
Hold that
I
thought.
do have thoughts.
Okay, so I agree with this, but Kim made the point of course, you could just say they're just using this rhetoric to boost up their position, like Donald Trump did when he was running for office the first time, speaking in rural districts and talking to the people like he was some savior of their lives.
The populist message.
Yeah, the populist message. They are, Kim, and that it's not an argument, it's a fact. That's what they're going to do, because they're going to turn on a dime, just like the Biden regime did when they took office. It's the same old game, in my opinion. No. Do you agree with that?
100%. We've seen it. It's a story old as time, right? Time and time again, we see it. They're so progressive, or they're so liberal. They're so libertarian, and I'm an independent. I'm going to put pressure on these. They don't on anything they say they're going to do, on anything.
Okay. Now, the second part of this clip, not to, belabor any points, I'm going to play this, but Brianna Joy Gray and Kim kind of get into I don't agree with you, agree to disagree thing, but I think it's more than that. So let me fire this up and make sure I've got the right one here, and let's give it a listen, and then we'll talk about it.
But then I substantially agree with virtually all of her views, and on something like the Assange question, where I might have expected more consistent principled behavior, I'm not getting it. So it's so then, but it does make me say I should throw in with the crazies. I applaud people who I think are kind of bad actors in some ways for doing things that are right when they do them, and that's something I do on both sides.
Yeah, I think it's important to not miss the forest for the trees here. Someone being a broken clock right twice a day, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't think is at all commensurate with someone who has an actual more world view that broadly respects human rights and basic interests.
They're all broken clocks to me.
The way that ASC does. And I'm sorry, I think it's really important not to conflate these things and pretend like, well, this side is this side and this side is this side, so it's all equal in the wash. It's not. One side has facts and evidence and substantiation.
That's not true.
It absolutely is true.
It is not.
I do not think Democrats
this is the problem we have with
science on their side anymore. They've let it all go.
I don't know what science has to do with this particular conversation. The fact of it is right now, AOC stood in front of a crowd and made the kind of generic, come on guys, we got to do this, we got to fight on every front statement that everybody in the history of the country has made when they were rallying for a cause. That is not commensurate with someone making a defense of individuals who broke into the Capitol building and
that's not true either.
And literally broke the law and resulted in people losing their lives.
The Black Lives
that is
Matter
not the
protests?
same thing. What about them?
What about all of the riots that happened during that summer?
What's the connection to AOC's statement in front of the Supreme Court?
Well, from what you just said, that somebody saying in a protest, this is what it should be. We got to rise up, we got to fight, we got to do these things.
Yeah, I think we've been very clear, and Robbie, you agree with me on this, that people shouldn't be held responsible for saying generic platitudes about how we should fight and win, and that goes both ways. So are you saying that you now disagree with that?
I'm
think that someone like AOC...
I'm asking you why you think then Republicans should be held accountable, like Trump, for certain things that were said.
I don't. When did I say that? I don't think that,
that
Trump should go to jail for the insurrection.
You were insinuating it.
There's a reason why.
Well, I do think maybe now I agree with Bree. I think Trump. Look, people can feel different. I think not criminal, certainly. He should have been held accountable through the mechanism of impeachment, which he was. But I voted against him.
Didn't work.
The things he said right before the people actually did engage in the trespassing at the Capitol, to me, were kind of stoking a mob mentality that he, as the president of the United States, should have behaved more responsibly. But he should be. He should know better.
Right, and he was given information. It's one thing to be literally looking at an event in action and saying, and not using your status as the president of the United States to stop it or try to dissuade people, and even saying things that might be encouraging, to again standing in the middle of a peaceful protest in a protest zone, a limited free speech zone, surrounded by cops and with snipers angled at you, saying, "Hey, we're gonna have to fight for our rights, ladies." I'm sorry, I don't think that's quite equivalent.
Yeah, I will disagree to disagree on that one, but.
All right. You know what? There was some embellishment there. And Sister Brianna Joy Gray, I agree with her much of the time. Not all the time. Same with Kim. Those are not facts. First of all, the riot was the riot. And didn't security pass those people through? Okay.
As far as I know.
Yeah. I mean, and as far as bringing facts, how many facts has the so-called left that Brianna Joy Gray is trying to state here have come through on many of these issues? Truly, they've been talking points put out, right, to twist everything.
Yeah. She goes, oh, well, just because she did it once. No, she's done it for years.
It's a script.
Yeah, can I tell you, I got that pit in the bottom of my stomach that I get when I have to have any kind of encounter with a Dem who thinks their shit doesn't stink and that they're always right and they can't see the nose on their own face through their fucking hypocrisy. And it gave me that pit, like, ugh.
It did, and
I don't want to even listen to you when you're talking like that. And that was the look on Kim's face too.
Yeah, it was, and again. Bree is not. Is she a Dem? She's independent, isn't she?
She says she's independent, but she's sure been towing the line for the last 6 months, as far as I see it.
Well, I think going on the Hill. I noticed
she was a different person in her own podcast.
I think she
was by herself with bad faith.
Yeah, I think in her bad faith podcast, She toes the line a little bit more on the Hill, and I don't know why that is. But today, this one struck me because if I'm going to watch these, and I usually only watch the ones with Iverson, unless they have a guest on there that's...
I can't handle Robbie. He's just the intern there, Eric. I agree.
Yeah, Robbie made a couple of good points in that, but they were quite parochial in my opinion. They're like...
You don't even hear him because all you see, I
know, he's sitting there. He's sitting there. Yeah. That shirt wears Robbie. That shirt and tie wears Robbie. Robbie doesn't wear that shirt. Anyway, enough. I'm sorry, I'm being derogatory towards Robbie.
Don't be derogatory towards looks. We just go after opinions.
Yeah, so I think that I don't know if they're doing what you and I do sometimes, which is we have a point of contention, like we're seeing who's factually correct and bringing things, which makes it more interesting and educational to watch. And that was another thing that I was thinking about. When Shannon and I agree on something or we bring up a point, we usually ask you guys in the chat to vet what we say as accuracy. And I really appreciate you guys because you are so well educated on what's going on. Once again, I think Bree needed a little bit of a fact check on a little bit of what she was bringing and how she was parsing it. But I think it was a little disingenuous there. That's all I'm saying.
The chat's saying, you know why, Oz, it's money. And yes, Lucky Burrito, I'll finish this segment out by saying you're right. They all toe the same line. They're all getting paid by the same people. Yeah. And I do feel that way. I do feel that way about all of them. Kim, it's made me sad that she's over there. I think she's uncomfortable as fuck. She's doing her best to get as much truth out over there as she can within the little wiggle room that she has.
Yeah, her opinion of what's the truth, to be fair.
Her opinion of what's the truth, to be fair. Yeah, exactly. But
at least she's pushing back on everybody else on that show.
Right. Well, that's only going to last so long before she's got her.
Well, the Hill better think about it because she, like I pointed out last night,
she's the only thing that's keeping it alive.
She's the only thing that's keeping it. I mean, even Breaking Points is dropping because of the great work.
Thank God. Thank God. The corporate algorithms screwing them.
And I shout out to Independent News Network. They are pushing back on Breaking Points and. They bring good stuff, but they're not gods as far as, opinion and facts either. So what did you bring here? 50 Cent? Is he playing
breaking news? I got some breaking news. 50 Cent changes his name to 85 cents to adjust for inflation.
So funny, Chanda. I love that.
It should be more like $1.50.
Yeah, for Christ's sake. I'm thinking 50 cents more like $1.50, like my chicken food, by the way. That's just been crazy. Here's a little history for everybody. Ryan Knight brought a truism once again. Yes, Democrats rigged their primaries with superdelegates and backroom deals. Once upon a time, 2016, even MSNBS called them out for it. Remember that, Chanda?
I do. They kind of were calling them out a little bit. Yeah, I was a Bernie delegate in 2016. I saw all of the primaries be wrenched with.
Can you guess who I was a delegate for the only time I was a delegate?
Obama.
Yeah, and I regret it.
I knew a lot of Obama delegates. Yeah, don't you? Oh my God, we got played so hard by. We got played by all of them, man.
God, no shit. You brought discount Alanis Morissette? What the hell?
New rule. If you mention 40-year inflation high, then you must also mention corporate profits are at a 50-year high. That is a new rule. I want to catch nobody doing that.
God, I love that. That is great. Shama Sawant, she was on with Sabby on Sunday. If you guys didn't catch it, it was a great discussion. Sabrina Savati, Sabby Sabs, Sunday afternoon, this last Sunday.
Shama's doing some rounds, and I got to wonder if it's because she's getting ready to run for something. I know there's a little bit of pressure for her to maybe step up and take Jayapal on.
They're asking her to run against Jayapal.
I know they are. And Jayapal, I freaking campaigned for Jayapal the first time around, and God, what a con she was, right? To our face, telling us how she's going to support Palestine and blah, blah, and just lies went on and on with her. But I don't, Shama, I don't know if you know the hate they have, the visceral hate they have for Shama. If she went after a seat like that, I mean, they was what, $53 million they spent on the last race trying to freaking crush her in her city council race.
It's a whole different game going to that. And I would enjoy her success and keep doing what she's doing where she is instead of
well, and she knows where her power is, where she's at. So this is Hardlands Media, our buddy Kit
and Daniel, huh?
Kit and Daniel. I haven't seen Daniel in a while. I don't.
Maybe I'm just missing him over there.
Is he behind the scenes more now since they rearranged?
Kit got his hair implants and
his hair implants.
Is that right, Kit? Did you get hair implants, Kit?
You're just jealous.
I am damn jealous. Jesus, the only one that's starting to catch up with me is Pasta. If you notice, his hairline's going up a little bit. He's
poor
going to hate me for that.
Poor Pasta.
Anyway,
anyways, this is a clip that he brought when she was on Bad Faith with Chris Hedges and Breonna Joy Gray. But this is her response to, we've got to stop it. Stop pretending the Democrats are ever going to do anything, or that any candidate out there that's worth anything.
None of them.
If you run in the Democratic Party, you're done. You're done. You are co-opted 100% We
either that or you're out.
Independence. Yeah.
Don't do it. Here we go. Let's pull the trigger on this one.
So Kshama Sawant, she's been recently making a lot of news in regards towards, hey, we need to think something different about the Democratic Party, and we need a real challenger to stand up against Biden and the Republican Party. So this is a video excerpt from Bad Faith Politics. Again, shout out to Breonna Joy Gray, who has done a fantastic job. But I want to hear what Kshama Sawant says in regards to the fact that we need a progressive challenger, just not one in the Democratic Party. Let's play this video.
There absolutely should be a progressive challenger from the left in a militant campaign. I absolutely don't think it should be from the Democratic Party. And I do want to address the specific names that you brought up. But before doing that, I want to say it's much more about the strategy, the political strategy that we as working people use to bring a real challenge to the Democratic and Republican candidates. And the starting point, the ABCs of that strategy are you don't run as a Democrat. Because look at what they did to Bernie Sanders. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry of progressive Democrats supported Bernie in 2020. They were, when I went to the Tacoma Dome to speak at Bernie's rally, they were all there with me. I know these people. They don't support Bernie's politics, but they were there because it was so easy. There was nothing at stake to get on the Bernie bandwagon at that time, and yet then go ahead and support Biden once Bernie was crushed, because we all knew that was going to happen. The Democratic Party elite were going to use some trick or another to get Bernie off the books. And then you got James Clyburn, you got South Carolina, and lo and behold, it happened. We didn't know exactly how it would happen, but we knew it would happen. So the first obligation we have as people on the left, if we are serious organizers, if we have any loyalty to the working class, is to first be crystal clear about that. Whether it makes you popular or not, be crystal clear. The Democratic Party is not the way to go. And I don't want to hear, these things that people come up with on the left where they'll say, well, it's the ballot line, it's a technicality. No, this is no technicality. This is, if you don't run as an independent, you are not taking on the fight that needs to be taken on, which is to present an independent fight back. And if you don't, Bernie was the strongest expression so far of the burning desires that working people have. And I have a lot of appreciation for Bernie, but look what happened. It went nowhere.
Yes, it absolutely. And it was designed to go nowhere. You know, we were sheepdogged into the Democratic Party because if you think about the Democratic Party had just came out of 8 years of Obama in 2016. They had the world. And when the Democrats have the world, people aren't donating and people aren't giving their time. They had a supermajority. They had everything. So when I got to the Democratic Party in 2015, there was nothing there. It was just a shell of itself other than the corporate corruption that owns it at the top, right? But they needed foot soldiers to get in there for 2016, and they can thank Bernie for that. You know, it was Bernie that flooded and kept those people in the party. Because remember, I stood toe-to-toe with Shama Sawant at the DNC convention in 2016 and told her, I'm going to do what Bernie asked me to do and go back inside the Democratic Party. And I did. For 4 years, I was an elected PCO of the Democratic Party. And she is 100% right here. We cannot give our time, our energy to anything that is even close to attached to the Democratic freaking Party. It is pure independence. And even then, we all know about our election system, right? So it's just a huge amount of people that I know that I have been with for the last 5 or 6 years. Yeah. We're pivoting. We're not putting all that energy into being out on the ground canvassing and supporting these candidates and fundraising and, you know, traveling and doing everything we can to try to fix the dysfunction in our system, because it can't be fixed from that way, is the way I see it.
No, I absolutely agree. And Sirota was out, I don't know if this was yesterday or something, but he was out doing his stump about you just can't walk away. If you're
I can just walk away.
Yes, I can, but that doesn't.
And I did.
But Sirota's trying to push the premise that we're going to walk away and do nothing. Absolutely the opposite.
Well, I'm going to fight you every day.
Every step of the way.
Every day I'm going to call the Democrats out. Yeah, the Republicans have done terrible shit to us over the years, but you know, right now, they're not the ones that are the big threat. It's the Democrats that are threatening us. Look at what they've done by doing nothing. By taking your money and putting people to sleep.
Yes, they are poised to do more damage. And for Sirota to be out there stumping like they're the best we've got and we need to get in there and force them to change. How's that worked out for you, Dave, in the last 40 years? That you can't force them to do shit. Now more than ever, both sides of the party and the wealthy break it off in your eye socket every single day. Every day. And if we don't do something different, you're going to get the same turnout on all the issues that you've gotten for the last 4 decades.
We're going to continue. It's not going to change because they have a bullpen, right? Their bullpen is AOC and all of these blue dogs that have been enholden to them for 20, 30 years, like Patty Murray and, you know, Marie Cantwell. They're the next in line. So even if we do get Pelosi and all of these other McConnell that are supposed to have control of everything right now, the next wave comes in from both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats. And we're just deadlocked again. We've seen this my whole entire life. That's all I've seen.
Absolutely. Pelosi's gone. They're going to bring in Hakeem Jeffries. Oh my
gosh, right?
He's just a dumber version of Nancy Pelosi.
And they try to tell you how progressive they are, right? I mean, Nancy Pelosi was progressive because since the 60s, she's been screaming about universal health care.
Right.
It's never going to happen under her or any of them, but they'll tell you that. They'll give you the platitudes for 30 or 40 years. And when they get there and they actually have a chance to do something, they don't do shit. They bow down to their corporate donors.
And here we are, back all over again. Now Roe versus Wade got flipped. And now they're going to come back and say, oh, you need to vote us back in.
Help us.
So we can codify Roe versus Wade. I mean,
And they won't. They won't.
They'll do it. It's been a fundraising boon for that and Social Security. And guess what they've been doing while we've been messing with Roe versus Wade? They've been privatizing your Social Security. And I say messing with Roe versus Wade, I don't mean that in a very hubris way, but they've been distracting us with an important issue to get another important issue, which frankly is going to make them more money than they've ever dreamed of by screwing us on our Social Security. I know a lot of you younger generations think that you're not going to have Social Security because it's going to run out or whatever.
I paid into it my whole entire life, every paycheck I've ever fucking made, they've taken hundreds from me. And I know by the time I get to that age, and they keep wanting to up the age, right? They want it up to 75 is what they were pushing for. And Blue Dog Dems are like, oh, well, that's okay. Yeah, we have to make compromises.
Yeah, compromise. Bipartisan compromises.
It's gone. It's fucking gone by the time that I get up to that age.
What Social Security is going to look like for you Gen Xers and Gen Zs and probably the millennials? It's just going to be a whisper of what originally was intended to be, and they've been chewing on it ever since they implemented it. And that's why they started out with only giving you an 80-20 plan, and they've been chopping away at it forever.
How old is Social Security? 75 years old?
Oh,
I bet somebody in the chat knows.
It's 19.
It was the 30s, right? It was under Roosevelt.
No, I think it's a little younger, but my dad was.
No, Roosevelt gave us Social Security.
Yeah,
right?
Somebody in the chat, can you vet us?
I think I'm right. I think Roosevelt.
You probably
gave us,
are. You're on.
I know. I always am.
No. Anyway, not to belabor the point, Iris,
we need to talk about money
sticker.
and corruption more. Okay, we will. We'll talk about corruption.
Money and corruption. Well, let's talk about police brutality. Shall we talk about police brutality?
Yeah.
And I'm bringing Jodie Sweetin. Was she Full House little girl?
She was the Full House girl that got all messed out, right?
Yeah,
but then she made a comeback.
Yeah. And again, I'm just bringing her first just to set it up. But if you're an actress or somebody that's a celebrity status, of course you're going to get all the headlines. But this is nothing compared to what happened to some of the other people that were out protesting.
Thank you, Farron.
So here we go. Let's check it out. It's short. These are all pretty short. There she is right there.
New video tonight, a Full House star, Jodie Sweetin, pushed to the ground by the LAPD during an abortion rights protest on Saturday. Police were trying to stop protesters from marching on the 101 at the time. The actress was shoved to the ground from behind, but got back up and started chanting, "No justice, no peace." Sweetin's publicist saying her client will continue to protest because, quote, "We are not free until all of us are free." Los Angeles police say they are now reviewing the incident.
What's to review? That was a sucker shove. That was a sucker shove.
We've been watching this shit for years. Years they've been doing this. They did it during the mandate protests. They did it during the BLMs. We've watched this for years. If you haven't seen the violence and the pace that the militarized police are escalating and who they're attacking, they don't care what reason you're there. They don't care. Like, I think Poston was talking about it on Jimmy Dore the other day. Oh, I might have brought that clip actually, where, the cops don't care. They're not, it doesn't care if you're blue or red, if you supported them or not. They work for the oligarchs. Plain and simple. They're there to crush you.
And their ranks are growing daily. Now, here's another one that I found pretty horrible. And the context of this can be taken differently, but I just want you to just watch this and tell me what you think.
Get back.
But wait, there's more.
That's
a little kid.
Yeah, big cop. Yeah, big cop. He's like, beat on a little woman. Oh, fucking bullies. The people united will never be divided. And that's just it. They want us divided.
Look at that. Is that a little girl?
A little girl, yeah. They don't care if they hurt you. They don't care.
All right, so
thanks for making me angry, Oz.
Here's another one. This might make you a little angry too. Here, let's just go through. I just got a couple more of these.
Jesus fucking
we've got this one, which you may enjoy a little bit more because, let me see. Oops, wrong one. That happens. I'm old. Here, let's do that.
That's a boomer tick.
Now this one right here, I'm going to talk a little bit because it's pretty much the same screaming. Okay, this one right here. Watch, they're going to end up surrounding the police here, and watch what happens. I'm very curious.
Oh, they don't like
this.
it when they get surrounded. Believe me, I've been in crowds that have surrounded.
Watch this. They're going to surround the cops here. I'm pretty sure that's what I've got here. It's buffering. Why is it buffering? Look at him swinging that thing.
Yeah, I love how he's swinging at the woman in the, Chanel linen pants while she's recording.
Yeah, this one didn't get the right cut. I'm gonna fast forward this so you can see this. Here we go. Fast forward. Now watch this. They're getting surrounded.
Oh, yeah, okay,
here.
yeah, they're surrounded. Yeah, they realize they're screwed, so they start swinging.
Yeah, watch this, though. They're going to...
Yeah, they are. They're always the ones starting it.
I didn't like that one. Why it's do that.
Get on the fucking sidewalk. I love it. That guy's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're outnumbered here. So I'm assuming everybody was breaking the law by getting into the streets, and that's what they were trying to get them to do, off the freeway and out off the street.
They're trying to keep them on the on-ramps. I've taken an on-ramp with a crowd before, and we had cops come at us. I mean, hundreds of them like this. They don't want you getting on the freeways, especially the interstates, And so they try to do everything they can to like shove you and kettle you through the big cities, and these guys, the thing is, see all those cameras that are in their faces?
Yeah.
There's hundreds of cameras recording their actions, and they don't care. Now, how is that a normal human response, especially if you're a police officer, right? You would think that they would not want to be recorded doing anything bad, so they would be on better behavior, but that's not the case. And why is that not the case? Because they have been allowed to get away with it for fucking years. There is no checks and balances. There is no cruelty or abuse or above and beyond, when they're out there, they're basically allowed to do whatever the hell they want. They always are the antagonizers. Always. I have been to so many of these, and every time you might have a few people that are mouthy in the front line, but that's still, they're not there with weapons, and they're standing toe to toe with people who do have weapons. So you tell me, who's the fucking aggressor? Yeah, some people calling you names and telling you to quit selling yourself out and quit working for the man, and taunting you. It's always them that starts hitting, throwing shit, pushing, grabbing people. We've seen it over and over and over.
Yeah, the instigators, I think, are more so, they are supposed to be not only, I believe in that they should be protecting and serving, and emphasis on serving in the sense of doing the right thing, but they're human as well, but there's something about this. I guess my question to you is, Chanda, this isn't working out well. It's not going to bode well. What's next? What are they going to do next? Because they've had decades without body cameras, without smartphones, and they've gotten away with it. And if you can tell me, oh, they never did that before, bullshit. They've done it throughout history, one way or another.
But it doesn't matter. Has anybody been prosecuted for all of the beatings that we saw over the last 2 years? Portland,
Portland's horrible.
Michigan, everywhere we saw that there was pushback and people were injured. We've seen them Billy clubbed in the head. We've seen them shot with, pepper canisters.
Well, remember that 70-year-old man that they just shoved to the ground and he busted his head last year?
Wrongdoing. No wrongdoing.
He's alive. I don't know how much that took off of his life, but we heard his head hit the ground and we watched the blood leaking out.
Like a freaking melon.
You can't tell me that there haven't been people across this country that have been injured like that and lived or haven't been damaged for life.
They go, no, that's your fault. You shouldn't have been out.
You should be home, kettled in your home, stay out, locked down.
Which is the opposite of freedom to assemble, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. There, I'm not the big constitutionalist as far as knowledge of the Constitution.
I'm becoming one.
But I am becoming one too. I'm sick and tired of this shit. And this is what I'm concerned. I'm not afraid of this. I'm concerned because this is going to ignite stuff. Check this out. This is what's going to happen this is the future of crowd control right here. This is what's going to be. And if you think I'm kidding, I'll bet you right now, this is going to be crowd control. They're already using them. The military's using the hell out of them, but we don't see that, do we? That to me should frighten everybody.
Well, now that they're sentinel, right? They've woken up. Sentient. They've woken up. Maybe they'll be nicer to us than the cops that are out there.
No, I think they'll be like a Heinlein novel where they figure out, God, people are the pox on this planet. We need to get rid of them. And let's just hope they start with the governments, I guess. Anyway, this was another rally. I'm just about through this section, but I wanted to show everybody who didn't see this stuff what's happening out there. That was just this weekend. And I agree. Yep. They've got it coming. They had 50 years to codify Roe versus Wade. They have not done their job at all, at least what they campaigned on. Joe Biden has fulfilled how many of his campaign promises? Crickets?
Yeah.
I don't know if he has. Minimal. But what he has done instead, he has done these concocted things that are constitutionally or socially acceptable, but they're nothing compared to what we really need.
Yeah, they did a lot of virtue signaling.
Crazy virtue signaling. And again, I know you guys have seen this one, but I just want to play it again. We didn't get to play it the other day. Just listen to this gal. She's right on. And our sisters and brothers have been playing this. Maybe if I should
kind of low. Turn it up a little bit.
Because something that struck me was when you were speaking earlier and you mentioned your anger because you had received a text message from the Biden campaign. Why is that?
So I received a text message from Joe Biden's campaign yesterday saying that the Supreme Court had overturned Roe versus Wade and that it was my responsibility to then rush $15 to the Democratic National Party. And I thought that was absolutely outrageous because my rights should not be a fundraising point for them or a campaigning point. They have had multiple opportunities to codify Roe into law over the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they haven't done it. And if they're going to keep campaigning on this point, they should actually do something about it.
What are you most worried about, Julia?
From the mouth of babes. Sorry, babe. But
Gen Zers are awake. Let me tell you, I was on the campaign trail with the young Bernie supporters, and even ones that weren't old enough to vote yet were out there campaigning, and they know the issues, and they're not going to let the Democrats continue to get away with this. That's my only hope.
No, we're all getting screwed in the worst ways possible with inflation, with food shortages that are coming right around the corner, with gas prices, with unending imperialist wars. I mean, Joe Biden sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, which is filtered through and they need more. And we're all this, I'm with Ukraine shit. I'm with you, anybody who's getting beat the hell out of by these governments because they want to take their resources or prop up their fascist governments. Give me a goddamn break.
Yep.
Now here's a mutual, I'm calling this one a mutual aid because this guy He's not even busking. He's not even charging. He's not even. I don't believe he's even asking. So, but he's out there spreading dancing, happiness, and joy, and that's
How dare him?
Yeah, but watch how the cops handle this guy. This is really. Oh my God.
Makes me sad.
Every night, making people like dance. Now he's being harassed.
Oh, they're gonna mess up his sax, man. Mess up his sax.
This man is literally every night not doing anything wrong, not even soliciting for money. He doesn't even solicit for money. He plays music every night. So we come home, he's not homeless, he's not doing anything wrong. He's just being there playing music every night. Every night we see him.
I got 4 autistic children. I got 4 autistic children. I got 4 autistic children.
This man is literally here every night making people dance. He plays music so people can dance. Now this man is
So yeah, he's there every night, and that's in a subway, I believe, and is that in New York? I don't know where it is, but
maybe Philly.
Maybe Philly. I mean, okay, so I've seen this, throughout my life, farmers markets, at high transit stations. People,
yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people of different religious faiths out there doing the thing. Are they going to take somebody out there that's preaching the gospel of Jesus, and are they going to do the same thing? I don't know, but this, I know he was pushing back and trying to avoid them, but this just seems wrong for some reason.
Right. And I don't know exactly why they were arresting him. That wasn't very clear. Maybe they had a reason other than he was there. If it was just that he was there, yet again, this is the attack on gig workers, and gig workers are kind of a no more a thing, and that's what, when you say somebody that's out, playing music, when they got their guitar case open, those are gig workers, street performers.
Yeah. And actually we always look for people to help out with those things. I wanted to bring this encore post on this one real quick, and then we'll get out of this segment here. You know what this is.
Voting blue is not enough. Democrats, we call your bluff. Voting blue is not enough. Democrats, we call your bluff. Voting blue is not enough. Democrats, we call your bluff. Voting blue is not enough. Democrats, we call your bluff. Voting blue is not enough. Democrats, we call your bluff. Voting blue is not enough. Democrats, we call your bluff. Voting blue is not enough. Democrats, we call your bluff.
Was Beto looking for something on the ground there, or what the hell?
Yeah, Beto's like, oh shit, what the hell's happening here? As much as I love to hear that rant, and I love that people are waking up to what the Democrats are doing, what does it change? I feel like people just go back to sleep when they realize they can get a abortion pill, or I just don't feel like it's going to change anything. And if it did change anything, what happens? We take to the streets, and this is what comes at us.
And honestly, Chanda,
that's what I'm saying. What can we do, Oz?
This next meme, this next slide, I built this slide, and Chanda said it scared her. And this is because this is what's going to happen unless we all get together and put an end to this bullshit. Behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. And honestly, we're going to die the way these rich people are pandemicking us and imperialist war us and food shortage.
And it's going to be starving us here.
It's going to be starving us. I mean, the water is drying up across the country.
They're taking all your money, all of it, your houses, your pensions, your everything.
Yeah, they're taking it. Everybody in this chat, I'm not scaring you. You see this every day. We have to.
We live it. Yeah.
We live it. So honestly, we've got to do something about it. So that
and what it is, they want us to have either a civil war or just stay divided the way we are and not come together, because if we came together, it would be a class war against them. And that's what they fear most. So that is what the whole painting picture is about, is keeping us divided and just busy gnawing on each other so we don't.
That's exactly it. That's the bottom line. As long as they keep us divided, we are not going to get this changed. We are not going to make any progress on climate, on health, on economy, saving the planet, saving our sisters and brothers.
Oh my gosh, we're going to talk about the planet. We're coming up on
we need to talk to each other, everybody. I just threw this in here. Boomers strike back. We have reared a generation of selfish wimps. Now, this is from I think that British paper, whatever the hell it is, I can't remember. I disagreed with this headline, Boomers Sit Back, because this could be anybody, and so they're coming after the boomers in a backhanded way here. That's not how I feel. I think that the generations behind me are starting to wake up. So the Daily Mail, that's what this is from. So
Daily Mail. That's why, we call this show Beauty and the Boomer, because for a long time there was that, this still goes on, where, don't even say boomer. That is as bad as saying, the C word or something. Like, what are you talking about? That is what your generation is called. I say embrace it and put it in their face that you are woke and you're not programmed and you've shaken off your matrix that they tried to put you in through all those years, through the 60s, through the 70s, through the 80s, through the 90s. They kept generations asleep, and people are waking up now to the corruption and the military industrial complex and, our imperialism all around the world and just, everything, and how they're siphoning it off the backs of the working class.
And I will.
So be proud of it, Oz. Put it in their face. I'm a boomer and I'm awake. I get it. And you guys are the ones that don't get it.
And I want to thank the generations before me that have helped me become who I am. Because like Chanda says, I've been socially conditioned since 1959 with their propaganda, their wars, their Russia bad, their everything.
The nukes are coming.
The nukes are coming, scaring the shit out.
Duck and cover.
Duck and cover. So I want to thank everybody from all generations that have helped the boomers, our sisters and brothers, some of them in the chat here. What's our demographic here? What is it? We've got age demographic.
Last time I looked, our demographic was 79% women over 45. And I was like, wow, that's shocking. And I think they're here for you, Boomer.
Oh yeah, they're for the old boomer. Well, I'm just glad that we can talk, and we've got such a sharp bunch of people in our chats. We really do.
Are you kidding? I adore our chats. Our chat is just the best. They understand. They're well informed. They know the facts. We're very tight knit. We've got each other's backs. Mutual aid. We don't let anybody suffer. If we know about it, we're there. I love our little community.
Yeah, it's great. And anybody that wants to, push back on us, saying, "Oh, you're just a couch potato behind a monitor." Well, we're helping mutual aid in every way we can. And what
know how many shows we produce on YouTube a week? Yeah, go ahead and think that, because then we're doing our job.
We're trying to do even more. And you've gone out in the field, Sister Amber, and so many of our sisters and brothers do that all the time.
Hey, Chad. Welcome, Chad Wilson.
It's all a family here. Now, you're going to bring some good news about the water here, right?
Oh my gosh, no. Because, I've been bringing this report about Lake Mead for years now. I think I've been covering it for at least 18 months. We talked about it all last summer. We talked about it all through the winter. I have kept an eye on Lake Mead because I knew that they had drilled an emergency pump, right? Because it was getting too low for the main generators to be able, and it gives Vegas 37% of its power. So 37% of Vegas's power grid comes from the Hoover Dam. And we've watched the water level just drop dramatically last year, but it never was at a threat of they had to shut anything off. Now they're shutting stuff off, and we're at a scary point now. This lake is going to die. This reservoir is going to die, and it's going to die in the next 2 years. So this is a report from a year ago, but I wanted to bring you the information because then I brought information from recent to kind of compare to show you guys what's going on.
Lake Mead is vanishing before our eyes. It's at its lowest level in history since it was built in the 1930s. The last time the lake was at full pool, it was 1983. Now, it's in a countdown to dead pool. On June 9th, the water level of Lake Mead dropped below an elevation of 1,075 feet. On August 16th, a water shortage was declared by the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation, the first ever federally declared water shortage in history. It means Tier 1 water cutbacks go into effect January 2022. Arizona will be the most impacted to start, losing 20% of the water supply from the Colorado River. Households will need to start conserving water. Some farmers have already let fields go fallow or switched to less water-intensive crops. But Lake Mead dropping below 1,075 feet was just the first of 4 major milestones to watch. Tier 2 water cutbacks begin at 1,050 feet. Those will be more severe and will affect city centers like Phoenix. Benchmark 3 is when the turbines at the Hoover Dam will no longer work. That's 950 feet below 900 feet. Dead pool. That means no water can leave the reservoir. The Hoover Dam provides enough power each year to serve 1.3 million people across Southern California, Nevada, and Arizona, and help keeps the lights on in Vegas. Losing that clean energy is expected to happen by 2024, but the water level's been dropping faster than previously expected. And now that we're lower, it takes even less water to drop every foot. And it's not just Lake Mead that's vanishing before our eyes. In July, Lake Powell, further up the Colorado River on the Arizona-Utah border, hit its lowest level in over 50 years. About 40 million people rely on water from throughout the Colorado River. Water cutbacks will hit farmers first, then Native American reservations, companies, and big cities. Outside the Colorado River Basin, Lake Oroville in California already dropped to a record low. That shut down the power plant there for the first time in history. A glimpse of what's to come. Shifting shorelines, relocation of marinas, water cutbacks, and a blow to hydropower. The new normal of America's West.
Okay, so that was the report from last year. And like you said in that report, it's starting to dry up faster than they anticipated, right? They know that it was going to die because they're funneling some of this water to some of those other spillways like Lake Powell. Lake Powell is completely dry a month ago, but because some of the water that would normally go into Lake Mead is now going into it, it has a little bit of water, but it doesn't matter. They're taking the little bit of water they have and rationing it out to a couple of different areas is what's going on. And we haven't even started seeing the ones in California, like Oroville, like we did last year, completely shut down. So I've been bringing you guys some streamers called Sin City Outdoors, and they're kind of fishing. It's a father and son, but they live there, and they've been going out and. This boat, you see it in the water. Yeah. It's been out of the water for weeks now. I think I brought that report a couple of days ago, but they're a good place to follow if you guys want to keep up like daily, weekly on what's going on with that lake, because we are going to hit Deadpool and it's done, and it'll get a little bit of reprieve this winter and it'll build back up a little bit. But the thing is every year it doesn't build itself back up enough, and then it's just down further. And so he said by 2024 they knew the lake was going to be gone. That was last year. Well, this YouTuber that I followed for years, Mr. ML7333, I think is what it is. He is predicting that it will be gone sooner than that. And he's actually done the math on it for us to see when it'll be gone.
Low, a never before seen new record low. And what I did was I calculated exactly when this lake will become just an ordinary lake. It will no longer become a reservoir. And here we go. Lake Mead, Hoover Dam. June 2022, this is where we're at right now, 1,043. I just showed you guys that reading that was just taken today. June of 2024, we're going to jump up 2 years. It'll be down to 938 feet. That's assuming that the current rate stays the same as it is today with regard to the actual level 2 years in the future. It could speed up because this year in 2022, the water has descended much faster than it did in 2021. So we could see an increase and these numbers could change. In fact, I'm sure they will change to some degree. But right now, at the current pace, come June of 2024, it'll be down to 938 feet. January of 2025, 912 feet. By March of 2025, it will become just an ordinary lake. It will no longer be able to function the hydropower plant at the Hoover Dam, and that's 2.74 years or 1,002 days. That's how much time Lake Mead has left unless something changes and the water levels start to go back up. So right now, based off of the current rate that the water is going down, we've got 2.74 years or 1,002 days. March of 2025 will be the day that Lake Mead becomes just an ordinary lake.
There you go.
So they know this is going to happen. And are they doing anything? Anything?
No, and you know, with climate crisis the way it is, what does it mean when we take 3 or 4 states in the Southwest that are all dependent on air conditioning to survive off of hydro and move them to what? How are we going to supplement this? They're not. And when they do, it's going to be rate changes for those living in places like Vegas or Phoenix or Southern California. I don't see how the working class is going to be able to survive the utility hikes that are going to come with this. And I don't see how the earth is going to be able to put up with all of the fossil fuels, because that's the only way they can come up with this energy, burning more fossil fuels, right?
Yeah. What about development?
Our politicians don't give a shit about this. They just keep developing.
They've been overdeveloping Arizona forever.
Oh,
they're overdeveloping
and Nevada
and Utah.
Utah. Oh my God, Utah's got the biggest freeway I've ever seen in my life. You know, I grew up in Salt Lake on and off for my whole life, and I was down there towards Provo where they have that data collection warehouse where they keep all of our NSA data. 8 lanes just on one side. I mean, it's the most insane thing I've ever seen. I'm like, why do they need all this here?
Yeah. Why do they? I just, you know, it's not like Santa Claus is going to come and save us on this thing, or Jesus or whoever.
No.
If they were actually,
there's no getting out alive in this one.
If they were actually making great gains on the battle to save our climate from total destruction,
or even trying,
it'd be all over the place. They could use that as their lead story, not to mention the damn wars and everything else. You brought an update on the Flash.
Well, you brought this story to my attention a couple of months ago. You were like, hey, heads up, you know, this is going to not go well or something. And you were absolutely right. Boy, this guy, you know, another well pick from Warner Brothers, and Ezra Miller is turning out to be a creepy cult leader who went to Standing Rock, and now he's brainwashed, or he's got, I don't even know how to describe it. He's got these young, I don't even know what to call them because they're non-binary.
They're young. Yeah, they've got this. He's using his celebrity status to basically indoctrinate.
And elude the cops.
Yeah, right? and indoctrinate young or women into some sort of a cult. I mean, this dude's really kind of freaky, and
this dude he reminds me of Marilyn Manson in the fact that, you know, he's all about just like take as much microdose as you can, or, you know, dose as you can, and let's just run from the cops. I mean, there's no reality check there. He's one of those celebrities that you can't touch. If you saw his arrest in Hawaii, like just that "do you know who I am" type of attitude.
Yeah,
like,
we know the
love
dude.
You peasants.
Do you know who I am?
I feel so terrible for, you know, the Iron Eyes family. They're just trying to get their daughter back. He went there as a water protector during Standing Rock, right? And that's how this relationship started. She was 11 years old. Like, it's just terrible. And there's others too. It's not just her. This family's very vocal. And, you know, this is some pushback and say, hey, she's over 18. I want to say she's 19 years old. She can do what she wants. But no, the fact is this started when she was very, very young. She's been, you know, she's been brainwashed. That's why I see.
Well, that's
like a
that's
cult.
happened with groupies over the years.
Oh yeah.
Same thing, you know, sports groupies.
R. Kelly,
Yeah,
come on.
I
R.
mean-
Kelly was doing the same shit.
Yeah,
so
with the little.
call out Warner Brothers. Tell them you're not watching Flash. We're tired of their bad taste in fucking human beings.
Oh yeah, the Aquaman. Like I said, I'm gonna wait till it's on Nick at Night with everything else. So, we had a verdict this morning, huh?
We did have a verdict this morning. Obviously, they were trying to keep it as quiet as possible and just get it done, right? That's why they locked her in solitary confinement over the weekend and went through with it. But yeah, some great memes here. Fucking Bill, can't you do anything right? I said Ghislaine Maxwell, not Betty White. Yeah, that was from last year. I still like that one. But this one's good too. It says, lastly, I'm truly sorry for all the hurt that I and I alone have caused. Goodbye, crew world, Ghislaine. Yeah.
Yeah. That's...
20 years though, 20 years. And you said, well, she'll get out in 11 after good behavior, right? I want to say no, she's doing federal time. And for those of you who don't know, my daddy was the original Breaking Bad and he went to prison, in federal prison, Florence, Colorado. And you do day for day when you do federal time. There is no good behavior. If they tell you you're doing 20 years, you're doing 20 years.
I'm saying she's not going to make her full term in prison.
That's a life. Well, okay, here's the thing. You're right, Biden, right, because she's got a bunch of appeals lined up. She's got a couple of different strategies that she's going to try to use. And she's got the money and the resources with her brothers and her sisters, her family, that to ride this out for a long time. So you're right. I think she could fight this in appeals 4 or 5 years, and then it'll be like a Cosby thing. They'll say, oh, well, Epstein had immunity when he made that sweetheart deal with Jim Acosta. And remember, there was a clause in that deal that said, not just him, it was his associates too, right?
Right.
And she tried to bring that up in this trial, like, hey, you guys can't prosecute me. I have fucking immunity. And they're like, no, your name wasn't specifically, no, you don't. So I think that you're right. She'll get a good team that will argue that. She'll get a corrupt, sympathetic judge. And yeah, she will quietly get out of prison in a couple of years. Yeah.
Well, they've got their headline here, 20 years, which to me, it's sickening to even see this. So you have a child trafficker. God knows there's more to this than just child trafficking.
Oh, we did a whole show on it last night.
And
we've done multiple shows on it.
So you've got a 99.99% known child trafficker. Then you have Julian Assange, who exposes war crimes by governments, and they want to put him away for 175 years. Unjustly put him away. He shouldn't even be on trial for telling the truth. Right. So this is where we're at these days. And she probably, I'm thinking, unless you're correct, that she goes to 20, but I don't think she'll make it. I think Hillary's going to slip that note in her pillow, and that'll be it. So
absolutely.
What the hell is this?
Oh, so this is what a difference a year makes. So planning a cookout. This is the White House last summer for 4th of July. Planning a cookout this year, ketchup on the news. According to the Farm Bureau, the cost of the 4th of July barbecue is down for the last year. And in fact, you might have heard hot dogs. The Biden economic plan is working. And that's something we can all relish. Okay, so that was last year. This year says all 4th of July cookouts to be listed American are going to cost more. So ground beef is up 36%. Chicken breasts have gained a third. Let's see. According to the survey, American Farms Federation's overall revealed experts can spend
17%.
Yeah, 17% more on their barbecue this year. So yeah. Thanks, Biden.
No, and by the way, it says must heard on the previous one from the White House. They're talking about they're gonna run out of mustard because the cultivation of mustard seed.
Right, yeah, we grow mustard seed up here.
Yeah, it isn't just gonna be mustard, guys.
It's everything.
Everything.
It's freaking everything.
Yeah.
I like to garden. You like to garden. I have never seen a growing season like this. I have lost damn near everything that I've tried to start. It was too wet. It was too cold.
Yeah.
And then the heat just came on like that. When it did, we have no water. I'm packing water to water my stuff. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. And this week it's going to be cold again. It's going to be cold again this week. And it's supposed to warm up again next week. And this is up in Washington State for you guys who don't know. Our pumpkins, we do pumpkins here because we make dog food, we eat pumpkin, everything. So our pumpkins are slow coming, and just the last couple of days with all that heat, they jutted up. So I think
they need the heat, and they're not getting
not getting what they need. So our pumpkins, we're going to be pushing it to get a good crop this year.
I think this is going to be the worst crop we've ever seen for
honestly. And these are not jack-o'-lanterns for carving. These are for eating. And you said something that just caught my ear there. We like to garden. We don't like to garden anymore. We love to garden, and it's not just because we love it. It's becoming a necessity.
It's becoming a necessity again, yeah.
We have to start being more self-sufficient and go the permaculture route, or we're going to be in deep doo-doo. Did you bring a Jimmy Door?
I did, but only because Brother Pasta was on there.
Oh, okay. Let's fire it up.
So they did pass a bipartisan gun control bill that is absolutely toothless and does nothing. So if that makes you feel good, they did that. So they did that so they can go say, look, we did something, but they didn't do anything. It's nothing.
Well, the red flag laws are the things that are kind of like a little suspicious right now. I think they can just kind of single out if they want to say, oh man, that guy Jackson Hinkle, he's not stable. He can't have a gun. And then they can take a gun away from him. I think you're going to see like kind of like pinpoint accuracy of attacks on certain people that they don't want to have guns on. So, I mean, and if those are the people who probably attended January 6th, or people who look like that at least. So, I mean, there are concerns in some areas. I mean, it is toothless in some ways, but the red flag laws to me are a little bit nervous, make me a little bit nervous. So
what are red flag laws, Craig?
Well, it's when somebody can go to a judge or go to a authority and say, well, that person is not stable. Like I was saying, he shouldn't have a gun, and then they can restrict that person from not having a gun or registering to get a gun until they figure out what's what.
Oh, okay.
Like it's probably what Cenk Uygur would do to you if you had a gun.
Jimmy shouldn't have a gun.
Jimmy's got a gun.
Jimmy's got a gun. Yes, Pasta. He looked pretty good up there with Jackson.
Yeah, he did. They played nice. They played nice. It was a good interview. Speaking of Jimmy Dore, Anna Kasparian, our friends over at INN, I think Shut Up Shitlib did this show. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. If you have, you're going to see it again. Check it out. This is a revoice on Anna Kasparian, by the way.
I don't know what to say. Now, I share this with you. I'm sorry to Jimmy Dore and his wife, Stephanie. I was wrong about to force the vote, okay? So I want to correct the record. I was, in fact, wrong about that. So I'm sorry to Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate, The Gray Zone, Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks. It's anyone on the left. It's so important to support Jimmy Dore, who is a fighter for Medicare for All. Like, what happened to diplomacy?
This is the Max Headroom of June 28th, 2022. Anna Kasparian. There you are. That's all, folks. By the way, Flint water charges tossed because of one-man grand jury in court. That's right. That Snyder, the charges are still on Snyder, who poisoned the whole city of Flint. But the two of the people that were indicted on this thing, they got the charges flipped because of some technicalities, and they talk. Of course,
way.
They're gonna.
Nobody being held accountable for Flint. Boy, that's different.
Let me tell you something. The fine, what I read so far in this thing, the fine is like $1,000. I mean, are you kidding me?
Christ!
So this guy should be. He killed people. So there's our justice system, or should I say, our injustice system, in my opinion.
Total injustice. Well, it doesn't stop because this is a crazy little story. So this is Steve Leto. I think his channel is Law Leto. Yeah, that's what it is. And anyways, he's out in the Midwest, and this is a story about police being able to seize armored cars.
What?
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's get it over with. We're about out of here. We got a couple more good stories. Stick around, folks. It's been fun tonight.
Welcome once again to Leto's Law. Here's Steve Leto.
I talk about civil asset forfeiture all the time about how police will pull a car over and in the process of interacting with the person at the roadside, discover the person's got cash on them. And if the cash is any amount above what a typical person carries on them, they'll seize the cash. They'll go, we find this suspicious that you got this cash. We're just going to take it. You want your money back? Sue us. I talked not too long ago about the guy in Wyoming who got pulled over and had $14,000 in cash on him. And they just took it. They said, you want it back? Sue us. So people in the comments routinely ask, and I saw the question so many times that it reminded me of, the old joke about, hey, are you going to eat that? There's starving children in China, right? Well, let's send the food to China. Why don't we? Well, the thing that people would routinely say about civil asset forfeiture is they'd go, why don't they just pull over armored trucks? There's a big old truck filled with cash. That's suspicious, isn't it? Why don't we just pull over an armored vehicle and just take the money? Well, here we are. Reason.com reports, and this is widely reported elsewhere in the news, but Reason.com is doing great work on this, and they are helping expose this. They're getting the word out. Quite a few people sent me the story. I'm not sure if I can thank everybody because we didn't get that kind of time. Federal judge has declined to issue a temporary restraining order. You might say, in what type of case? A California sheriff remains free to rob armored cars carrying money from state-licensed marijuana businesses. So a federal judge this week declined to issue a TRO against a California sheriff who uses civil forfeiture to rob armored cars carrying money earned by state-licensed marijuana businesses. Now, in his ruling, the judge said that the company, which is based in Pennsylvania that transports cash between businesses and banks, may very well have an excellent case, but had failed to meet the high burden for a temporary restraining order. And so what's going on here is that these armored cars are passing through a county where the sheriff, when he spots one, has it pulled over, and it's carrying money from a marijuana business to a bank. Now, that's not illegal in California. However, there's still an issue with the feds. The feds still have not come out and said, yeah, marijuana is not a problem. And so because of that, it's a little loophole that the sheriff can drive his armored trucks.
Isn't that crazy? Which I already knew this. I mean, as I managed a legal marijuana shop in Washington State for some time, and our biggest problem was transportation of money, moving money, banking money, and it was very frightening to have that type of money on, being alone. It's dark at night coming out,
Oh my God.
but to have the cops blatantly hitting those trucks, because if you haven't noticed, those states that do have legal marijuanas, they have a certain type of vehicle that the marijuana trucks are all using now. They're the smaller cargo vans, the panel van type thing, lowered. They're pretty easy to spot, and yeah, they just pull them over. How much money you got? Well, that doesn't seem like right. We're going to confiscate this money, and if you want it back, you got to sue us and prove it was your money and how you got it. Right. So I think what would happen is eventually it's going to end up on the Fed's doorstep because all this money is being illegally seizured, and somebody's eventually going to get the money. Because let me tell you, I have watched over the last 5 years so many corporations come into marijuana. Big weed is a big fucking thing, and they have crushed all the little mom and pops. So there is going to be a fight federally, because these big conglomerates that now own the marijuana, they're going to want to be sheltered from that type of stuff. So I see that this forcing the Fed's hand to deal with the actual money of marijuana.
This isn't just this type of crime committed by supposedly law enforcement. They have been search and seizure assets of people that have not been convicted of any crime.
Yep.
And this is bullshit.
Or try to be convicted of a crime, and they'll take everything you have.
Everything.
It doesn't matter if your mom gave you that jewelry when she passed, they're taking it. I've seen it many times.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I got a quick one here from Margaret Kimberly. That's Uncle Joe. He's moving kind of slow at the junction. We got Macron and Biden know nothing about hot mics. Other countries can't help them make up for the Russian oil they sanction, yet more proof that they didn't think before they instigated the proxy war in Ukraine. This is
instigated.
Yeah,
yes.
Don't talk about Putin.
You gonna tell me to my face that I'm wrong? Didn't Biden say that this week? Fucker. I'm gonna tell you to your face you're wrong.
Absolutely wrong. And they're robbing the Treasury or the MMT fund or whatever, but they're robbing.
What's left for
check
them
this
to
shit
rob?
out. This is horrible. Biden doesn't even know where he is.
He's having a good time though.
Oh yeah.
He told me two things. One, I'm at the maximum. What he claimed, and this is my complete commitment. Second, he told me, according to us, yes, the Saudis can increase a little bit, but 150 or a little bit more, and they don't have huge capacities. At this stage, before 6 months down. The last one, the very last point is about what we do with the Russian oil.
It looks like Macron got caught with his panties down.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, so the Saudis will give you a little bit, but what about the Russian oil that we're not going to get this year?
Yeah.
You guys better start wheeling and dealing and end this debauchery that you're perpetrating over in Ukraine, getting a lot of innocent people killed. Don't be blaming Putin, you assholes. You could have stopped this thing right after it started. So that's where I'm at on all this shit.
Or they could have not started it by encroaching.
Yeah, but we got a Democrat, we got a war hawk in office, so we knew that was coming.
War
You
hawks.
voted blue no matter who, and you got a war hawk that got you into the war that they
It
wanted.
would have started 4
with
years
Hillary.
earlier.
Yeah, Hillary would have started
but
sooner.
Trump stopped her.
Yeah.
Is what happened. Yes.
That's what happened. Sorry, no credit for Trump for anything except being.
Well, and they were building up for it. Think
Yeah.
about the Ukraine,
Absolutely.
revolution was 2014. They
14,
knew
yeah.
we're going to get
4
Hillary
years.
in there.
Yeah, we're
we'll
gonna
just
get in
write
there.
it out.
We're gonna go in there. We're gonna just obliterate everything, and they sure have made a mess
Trump
of it.
sure gummed shit up for them.
Yeah, I did this, Joe Biden. You raised all the prices. You're causing all this shit. They're gonna get slaughtered.
They all do it. I watched fucking Trudeau do it today. Like,
Oh, yeah.
blaming on Putin. No, Putin.
Oh,
Putin's
God,
oil
Trudeau.
prices.
He's another- he's sick me.
Macron. They all do it, right?
What's Gutfield gassing about
Okay,
here?
so this is not politics. This is a boomer conversation I wanted to have with you about phone calls.
Oh no.
So new surveys out
Phone
say
sex?
no,
Okay.
we don't like phone calls anymore. As a species, we don't want to deal with phone calls anymore. So we'll roll the clip and then we'll talk about
All right. Yeah, I think I know where you're going, and I'm ready for you.
it.
A new British survey, which is like a
Daily
regular
Mail.
survey but with bad teeth, finds that young people want to ban phone calls in the office because they find them too aggressive and confrontational. The same reason Shannon Bream was banned from Walmart. 75% of office workers said they prefer communicating via email or social media, which they find less stressful and easier for sending pics. Here's mine. Dick Van Dyke. Dick York.
Darren.
My favorite Bewitched, and that's Dick Sargent, the second Dick from Bewitched. Both ended tragically. Apparently, the desire to ban calls is driven by the under 40 millennial and Gen Z crowd who prefer texting instead. And 1 in 10 admitted they go out of their way to avoid face-to-face contact. In Kilmeade's case, it rises to 10 out of 10.
That was fun.
All this is related to the rise of technology reducing our verbal communication skills. But the guy behind the survey warned it's not just young people avoiding calls, adding, quote, while younger office workers clearly prefer messaging to talking, we also found that across age groups, there's a feeling that phone calls have the potential to quickly becoming confrontational. You know, we asked him to clarify, but he called us jerks and hung up.
All right, Chanda, let me have
Okay.
it.
No, I'm not going to let you have it. I'm asking your opinion. Do you think this is true? Because I absolutely do.
I absolutely do too. As a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with Joey today about this. I told her I don't want to hear from anybody. If they want to send me a text or an email, that's fine. I'm done. And that doesn't include my immediate friends and fams.
No,
you know.
you're the only person I answer the phone for. You and a very small handful of my children, my relatives, you know.
There's a couple of reasons why this
Pasta.
is. I'm exhausted. Social interaction on the internet has taken a lot of the juice that I would usually invest in having a phone conversation. This is why social media, gaming, all that stuff. if you lose that blood, if you lose that energy that you would normally use elsewhere, that's what I believe is happening. Ask the chat; they'll probably have some good answers.
Chat, what do you guys think? I'm going to tell you. I think that where the change is. Phones used to be a utility. They were necessary. It was really the only way we had to communicate for many, many years, immediately communicate.
Yeah, it's a social thing too. It was back then.
It was a social thing. I was a teenager in the 80s.
Yeah.
Believe me, I had a phone freaking welded in my ear for 10 years. You know, I lived on that damn thing. I don't even know what we talked about. What would I talk about for 12 hours? But I would do it. And now that technology is the way that it is a disruption. Because when I see my phone ringing and I'm in the middle of a show, it's like, why couldn't that person have text messaged me? Because I'll see a text instantly, right? Normally I'll see my phone ding, or emailed me, or DM'd me, or instant messaged me. I mean, there's a million different ways to send me a chat. So yeah, I always have a little bit of an anxiety attack when my phone does ring, because it doesn't ring very much anymore because I talk to everybody via other means. So then I'm like, something's wrong. If my phone's ringing, somebody's dead, somebody's hurt, somebody's injured, somebody's sick.
Good points. Great points.
What's going on? So I immediately go into anxiety of why is somebody calling me? Or if they're calling me, it's confrontational, right? You feel like, okay, if it's somebody and it's not, somebody's sick or hurt, then they're calling because they need something from you immediately.
Yeah, and this is part of social conditioning.
Yeah.
This is by design. So yeah, somebody who said that? They use it more for a watch than anything else. Precious few people I'd ever want to talk to. Eric, yeah, I'm with you. I like talking to you there, Eric. You can call me anytime, brother.
Yeah, right.
We talk tech and all kinds of stuff. So,
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it's social interaction. I used to follow the studies that we don't interact, and we started out at like 4, and now we're down. We got down to 2.5, and now we're down to 1.5. Of the norm of what it was pre-computer age smartphone and everything else. So that's
and here's the thing. There's a whole generation that, like my mother, she would call her parents every day. Every morning I'd hear her on the phone. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. She every day, hour-long conversation. Talk to Mom for a half hour or talk to Dad for a half hour. And as I got older, she wanted that relationship with me. And I did that probably through my 20s. I'd call her, probably not every day, but pretty damn close. Yeah. But as technology came in and there was more text messaging and more Facebook messaging.
Emails.
Yeah. Trying to switch her over as a boomer to technology. She had phones, she had everything.
Right.
But she didn't like it. She never bonded to it like I did. So then in her final few years, I didn't want to talk on the phone. I would, but it's like, Mom was the only person I would talk to, on my phone. So
yeah, that's
there's some people that'll just never take to it, and you got to be acceptant of that. But it's changing.
You got to be more thoughtful because you want to call Mom and Dad while they're around. I miss my parents dearly.
I know. I wish.
I wish. So call Mom and Dad. Call your family and your friends.
Call your family. Tell them you love
Don't
them.
just rely on text messages. I guess that's what's going on here. Well, you got Bill Gates is buying up more farmland, or what?
Bill Gates. This is Pfizer in your immune system.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
George Bushy.
You've got an interactive map here. What's this all about?
Yeah, it's not interactive though, because I think it's just a screenshot. But this is U.S. food manufacturing plants. Compared to incidents in the global trends. So look at us. Look at them.
What the hell? Somebody was trying to discount this the other day. So, oh yeah, it's a conspiracy. What?
I know. I hear that all the time. Like, are you paying attention?
We've reported on 3 or 4 the chicken plants and some grain processing plant. What the hell?
Yeah.
No, that's not a conspiracy.
It's happening.
Oh my gosh. And what do we got here?
I wonder, why does NASA space agency have one of the world's largest film sets and studios among its facilities?
What was that movie where they faked the moon landing? Capricorn 1. Yeah, I think that's what
I was going to say. Apollo 13. I don't know.
Apollo 13. I guess that was the real deal. Ask Tom Hanks.
Right.
I said Tom Hanks. And we've got this one here. I love this one.
Oh yeah, it's not a recession. It's a robbery.
It's hellaciously a robbery.
Smash and grab.
Smash and grab. And then we've got this one.
My conspiracy theory that time travel is real and someone keeps trying to fix 2020 by changing something, but every time they do, it unwittingly makes it worse.
That gets the blue ribbon for me because every day I wake up, I don't think it could be any worse. And it is.
I think it's going to go back to 2016. I think that's where we got derailed, so they need to fix that. But
yeah,
that's where their problem is. They're not going back far enough.
I absolutely agree. You've got the most of making the most of coming Biden boom. What the hell is this?
This was a hilarious article. Matt Orfila put this out, but look at the date. So this is November 19th, 2020. Making the most of the coming Biden boom. The economic outlook is probably brighter than you think.
Oh, you got
Boy, they were wrong.
Man, bust, you mean. Biden bust. They just have to change one word there. And we are at that moment in time for this week where the Scumbag of the Week award goes to Robbie Reiner. Well-deserved.
Well-deserved.
And he's a return winner. Once again, you've got first place, Hilda Beast there. And then down here, we've got Nancy Pelosi says Democrats' focus on abortion access is hurting the party. How'd that work out for you, Nancy?
How'd that work out for you? She don't care. She made a shit ton in fundraising
Oh,
this week.
hell yeah.
So she got yelled at a little bit. She's used to that. She don't care what those peasants say.
Peasants. I've got her down,
Yeah, you do have her down.
That's really good. We had the Sabby Says as the intro. It was great. We don't have a lot of tweets from Sabby because she promotes her show segments, which we enjoy and we get informed. So thanks again, Eric T. the Red and Sabrina Salvati for all the wonderful work you do, and the supporters of Sabrina Salvati. Go over there, subscribe, like that channel, share it around because she is bringing it. We have Fee Says right now, Fiorella Isabella Ghislaine Maxwell is getting 20 years as crumbs so people forget that she sex trafficked young girls to a plethora of powerful men who remain unnamed and have not and will likely never be held accountable. Bingo! That's it, Sister Fee. And she's responding to Dr. Zainab. What if CERN really did open a portal to hell or something? And Fiorella says, of course, I think that hell is an understatement. And just look around you. Thank you, Fee. That was fantastic. We have housekeeping. What's going on? Announcements. We got Naomi Wolf coming up on the combo couch tomorrow.
Nice.
I am so looking for that. And if everybody's on time, Pasta, Fee, on time, 12 noon.
Maybe.
12 noon. Naomi Wolf. And what else we got going on this week?
Cut her some slack. She's a day and a half ahead of you guys.
No, I like to beat up Pasta, and he'll tell you.
Yeah,
you just beat up on me. You don't beat up on
Right.
Fee. So.
What do I got? We got Beauty and the Boomer on Saturday night. Of course, we're doing the hot summer nights, and we're going to do the 60s beach blanket special this weekend. So tune in for the refaces and whatever we can dig up from 60s beach parties.
Oh yeah, that's we're gonna get copyrighted again, probably on.
We know we are. So
we
we're just
know
gonna
we
bring
are.
it.
They don't take them
Let's have
down.
a good show.
Here's something. I don't think we've ever been taken down for a cover. We've accidentally had
We've
original.
been muted.
Yeah, we get muted sometimes. But if you use an original artist, they usually block your channel. So that's what it is. But Hot Summer Nights, having a lot of fun. We're gonna come back with a film noir here, I think, in August, and we'll be the whole show should be in black and white at that point. We had a lot of fun with that last year. And let's see, don't forget Joey's Coffee. We've got the Global South Gold and Moscow Magic Russian Blend. And that is not Pasta's girlfriend over there. That's just a llama.
Your mama's a llama.
Your mama's a llama. And we've had some pretty good accolades with both those blends. They are blends. There's no Kona in these, sorry, but we have got a hell of a great source for green coffee, and my wife custom roasts those things to order.
So good.
It is the best. And don't forget to try the Dandelion Tea. Please write Julian Assange a card, a letter, something. Show your support. That's the address right now, and we hope it stays that way, right? At least until we can get him out of that hellhole.
Yeah, I wish that wasn't his address, but for now, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Better than being in the United States. So See what we got there. We're going to go out with.
Nah, go to
that
the next one.
We're going to go out with, my old school.
That's
yeah.
a good one.
I love these guys.
I love Steely Dan. We'll do it.
These guys are great. Shanda, thank you so much. We're going to have fun Saturday night again, and I want to thank everybody. We almost had to put up the velvet rope tonight.
We were at capacity tonight with 100 in the chats combined, and wow, Oz! Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate the support.
We
don't
can't thank you enough.
Yeah, we love people coming in, but we cap it at 100. So just I think we'll cap it.
Get
at
her
100.
early.
Yeah, get here early so you can have fun with us. Again, I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Iris, for the super sticker. That was wonderful. Kate, Kate and Gamer and Choosy. I didn't call you out. I see you in there, Choosy. Shelly, love it, Shelly. Popeye, didn't call out Popeye. How are we doing over on the Fin? We got we call out everybody on the Fin. I think we we got Super Ray over on the Fin. Super Ray. Hey, Chanda and Oz. We really have we've got to stick together as the censorship is getting worse, and that's from Sobe, abso-frickin-lutely. Arem, good night, y'all. We
good night.
so appreciate that, Arem.
Y'all.
Thank you so much. We see,
y'all.
Yeah, everybody. We are going to go out with Lenoid and Friends. Thank you, Chanda. You were fantastic as usual.
Thank you.
Couldn't have a better partner doing this stuff.
I couldn't have a better partner. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
I'm thankful for you every day, my
and
boomer.
we're going to get you going on your own machine and your own shows from Chanda in a couple of weeks, and then we're going to concentrate on the Patreon stuff, which is going to be fun.
We got plans. We're growing.
Plans.
We're growing.
Big
We're a little
plans.
fish in a big pond, but we're swimming away.
I thought we
Just
were
keep
like
swimming.
guppies in the Shark Tank.
We are.
We
We're
are
guppies.
guppies in the
Just keep
shark.
swimming. Just keep swimming. Oz.
Swimming. Good night, everybody. Have a great evening. It's been fun, and we'll see
you tomorrow for
tomorrow. Combo Couch. And let's see if I can play this. Let's hit the right button.
Gotta hit play.